like Woody Allen. He did it. I want to do that. Like I saw this new movie, Blue Jasmine. Watch this movie. Fantastic film. Just really.
What's it called?
Blue Jasmine. It just recently came out. You should watch this movie with
my dad.
With your dad, or what's her name? I don't know if she's in the Casey. Maybe not, but
Blue Diamond.
Blue Jasmine.
Blue Jasmine.
Blue Jasmine. It's like.
Is it on Netflix?
No, it just came out in theaters.
Oh, okay.
It's a new movie, but like Annie Hall,
What's it about?
It's about this older woman who's lived this spoiled life. Her husband bought her everything. Like, she's, like, of the high class,
Mm-hmm.
She, like, only wears, like, certain things, and, like, she has this adopted sister who's, like, sort of, like, in the lower class of, like, the Latin American population in California, and I think she's from New York, and turns out her husband was associated with fraud on, like, a huge scale, so he ended up going to jail, and he ended up committing suicide. She lost everything, and she goes to live, and it's all about how this really high-status woman functions in this lower-class society, and what ends up happening is she doesn't function, and she ends up being a hobo on the street, and literally, like, the last shot is she's like, just talking to herself, like, to no one, like, people are talking, and they go back to the flashbacks of when she was actually in the high status, and
She's stuck.
It's Cate Blanchett. It's brilliant acting, really great. I don't know how he does this stuff. He just writes and directs it, and it just happens. But that affected me, at least. Like, when I like, for me, the story that made me sort of realize this was I was It was Titanic, actually. I had never seen Titanic for like 20 years. People were like, Titanic's such a good movie, Titanic's such a good movie. And then when they were playing it in 3D, and like that day, I was talking to this guy, and he told me, right now, the way you are, this was at the winter quarter of my freshman year, he said, you don't have what it takes to make it in this industry. And he told me that, and I just crushed me, and I was like, dang. What am I doing wrong? Like, I'm trying to do everything, and I was like, all depressed and whatnot, walking by myself alone, and then I look up, and the marquee, it says Titanic 3D, and I was like, check it out. And I saw that movie, and I was like, man, I want to make a movie like this, movie like, and I will, I want to be a part of that. Like, how do you make a movie? I mean, I think that the second highest grossing movie of all, I think. Just say one thing and then that's done. Because you're holding that thing up. I'm sure your arm's tired.
I'm straight.
I want to be able to. I see movies, and I think there's a great and a very high, respectable thing to be said about a movie that makes a lot of money. That's an art. I mean, people are paying to see these movies. And I think some of that comes from, like, Bollywood films. They're all about mass entertainment, but I think that's something that's really underappreciated. People, but at the same time, people still pay to go for it, but then you hear people accusing, like, oh, this is so cliche, like, the Titanic is so cliche, and, like, but cliches work, man. Like, cliches are what life is, they come from very human, places. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I want to be able to affect. I don't want to make a small little independent, thing. I want it to be. Would
you think if the meaning was deeper in the film, that if you were involved in an independent film, and budget might not be so big, but the point of the film, the morals of the film, and what they're supposed to make you feel and what they teach in the film was huge, would you feel accomplished if it didn't reach everyone? If it was something that you
as long as one person. I want a lot of people, but as long as I can have, why not? I want people lives to be different because I was somehow had a hand in that, either indirectly or directly, in the same way that it has been for me, for all the movies that I've seen and all of the entertainment that I've been associated with. It's influenced me, and entertainment and media is such a huge part of our daily lives. I want to be a good contribution to that, you know, to your life. I want to help, you know. I mean, at least whatever I can offer, you know. I'm not saying I'm God and I know everything, but I know some things, and I think people would like to know about it or have a good time, you know, even if that means you're laughing your butt off the way through and it's just a movie about, you know, some Harold and Kumar stuff where it's like, you know. But if I get a letter, you know, or whatever, like when I was dancing at this thing, like I felt so nervous and so insecure.
What thing?
At the Universal Studios when I was dancing with Nick on the stage. And it was just me and like all the sea of people. I remember at the very end, this is one guy in the middle of the audience going, "Guru, Guru, Guru." And I thought, I was like, that made me, you know? It's like, at least I want to be appreciated, you know? I want to be like, I want someone to think, okay, I'm doing all this movies, I want at least someone to think that they're getting, you know? Like you said, my fear is that no one does.
That no one,
and that's what happens when
no one can accept you for what you want to do or what you are, and that you don't want to live your life without being appreciated for your craft.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I don't want to live my life not being appreciated for what I love to do. That's a long explanation. I talk a lot when you get me talking about me. You know, Jafa, I used to, I did this, you know how you see the interviews on YouTube, you know, and they have the actors there, and you got the interview guy. I did that for myself one time. When I did a theater production of this play called The Seagull, I was like, I want to talk about my experience with this. I want to and I shot it in the same way, like they have the interview and everything. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But see, like that's such a huge thing. It's like, well, where do I start? You know, how am I supposed to, through what way, you know, am I going to be doing that, you know? I don't know.
Well,
you got to think about it. Maybe I should think about it.
Write it down.
Write it down, yeah.
Pray on it.
Pray on it.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening.